Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. Now, we found out that something very, very sinister is going on here in the sinking ship. And we have to find out what exactly is going on here, so we have to interrogate some of the people. Now, what I think is going on is that leads to a trap, so we don't need to go in that direction. That's where these guys are trying to take us. So let's head down here. I believe we unlocked this with using that little maintenance area with that PDA. And wow, we've got bodies. That's not nice. And children. Ew. Let's go ahead and inspect this first before we talk to anyone. Come on. What was it? Show yourself. The door is heavily reinforced and barricaded. It'd take a bulldozer to get open. Ew. Fair enough. Sick dwarf. A stocky dwarf leans up against the wall of the container room. His skin is sallow, and it hangs off his bulky frame like a half-deflated balloon. He saw plenty of sick people back in the Barrens. Addicts, BTL heads, people whose immune systems have been ravaged by disease. This guy looks worse. The dwarf's milky eyes track you as you approach. A wave of recognition washes over his face, but his movements remain lethargic. Eventually, he manages to slur out a few words. Gobbet? Back after all this time. This might be Cadmus. Ah, yeah, I'm sorry it's taken so long. Gobbet stares at the dwarf, wide-eyed. It's good to see you again, Cad. Gobbet's told me about you. How are you feeling? Perfect. Thanks for asking. He struggles to contain a burst of coughing. I'm dying, and my home has gone to dreck. We're probably going to sink into the bay, but otherwise, I'm great. With visible effort, he shifts his focus to Gobbet. Welcome home, girl. Been a long time. She swallows. Cadmus, save it. I'm not mad. He squeezes his eyes shut. I'm mostly just happy to hear your voice again. It's good to have a friend. Tell us what's happened here. Bad things. A lot of good people died. Something's gone rotten on this raft, Gobbet. You know what I mean. Toxic. Yeah, I can feel it too. I can feel it all the way back home. Her throat moves, but it takes a moment for her voice to catch up. Cadmus? Where are our friends? What happened to Yasmin and Anson and Malvina? Anson's dead. He never even made it into the sick room, just disappeared. But I know where he went. He stabs a finger downward at the floor. Yasmin's still with us. Small favors, right? But the fight has gone out of her. She's content to do what she's told and tremble. Malvina ain't Malvina anymore. Let's say nothing. Let's have Gobbet lead this speech. I was afraid of that. I just needed to hear you say it. She's gone toxic, hasn't she? She's gone toxic because of that damned bauble I gave her. It ain't her, Gobbet. It's something else. He struggles to contain another cough, and eventually it passes. But yeah, that shiny red egg that you and Sui lifted is the cause of it, I think. The ugliness was already inside of her, but that thing brought it out. She squeezes her eyes shut, balls her hands into fists. Dreck. Cadmus, you said that Malvina isn't herself anymore. So what is she? You ever heard of a rat king? It's an old folklore tale. A bunch of rats all fused together, their tails all wrapped and twisted into a great big knot. That's what Mal has become. I don't know how many different spirits she's tied her essence to, but the last time I opened my third eye to her, I couldn't see where they ended and she began. What does that even mean? I've never heard of... It means she ain't human anymore, girl. Her aura is bound to other things. Alien things. All tangled and twisted and grown together. They're all one being now. A rat king. It talks like Malvina, but it ain't her anymore. Is she possessed? No. Best as I can tell, she invited this. Welcomes it. Malvina and the things she's tied to are all one being now. A collective. And to listen to them talk, they like it that way. Another long, wet cough interrupts his speech, and he wipes his mouth with the back of his hand. Are you sick, Cadmus? He grins between his sunken eyes and hollow cheeks. The end result is ghastly. Ill? I wouldn't say so. Deathly ill. Vetus is real bad. Even a neutered strain like this one can really knock you on your ass. You'll be okay, Cad. You're a dwarf and a shaman. That's 2 big points in your favor. You're gonna walk this off. You'll see. Spare me the pep talk. I'm too tired to walk. He coughs into his sleeve. Cad, save it. I know what my chances look like, and they ain't good. I've seen a lot of our friends loaded into those cots, Gobbet. They all went out in garbage bags. Anyway, he wrestles his mouth into a friendly smile. Let's talk about something else, huh? All this doom and gloom is getting to me. The talisman that the Rat King is holding, the shiny object. Do you know how it works? Nah, I tried assessing it once. The only thing that took away from the experience was a migraine. Felt like there were railroad spikes buried between my eyes for days. All I can tell you for certain is that it still works. As long as the Rat King's connected to that thing, you can't hurt it. Any holes that you put in its body will close up on their own. So what are we expected to do against that? If the bauble makes the thing unkillable, then you'll need to find a way to get that bauble away from it. Gobbet managed to do that during Sui's rebellion. I'll bet that she could do it again. Did you try and fight this Rat King? Yeah, I'd had enough. A lot of us had. So we took a page from old Sui's book. He offers you a sickly grin. We mutinied. He gestures at the writing bodies on the cots in the sick room. And this is what's left of our side. Been locked in here for 5 days now, waiting for Vetus to finish the job. The rest of us got fed to the rats. Doesn't seem to have gone very well. The half smile on his face evaporates. No, it didn't. Truth is, we weren't prepared for how many of those bastard rats Malvina had bred, and we weren't expecting our shipmates to fight on her behalf. Why would the others stop you from taking the ship back? That doesn't even make sense. Why do you think, girl? Fear. Fear of death. Fear of being gnawed apart by 100 vermin. Fear of that thing. So you're saying that the people here aren't brainwashed, that they're just afraid? Scared reckless is a better way of putting it, and I can't blame them. If anything, we're the crazy ones for trying to fight that thing. If the Rat King's soldiers only serve it because they're afraid, then maybe we can turn them away from it. Could do. They might rally around someone they know. Maybe someone who lived with and fought for him years ago. He eyes Gobbet. That was a subtle hint, girl. I've got a better idea. We're going to get you and your people onto lifeboats, and then we're sending this raft to the bottom of the bay, and the Rat King is going with it. You can't mean that. This is our home. We've got nowhere else to go, Gobbet. I'm not going to let that thing force us to put this raft to the torch. You've already tried it your way. Look what happened. Iso steps in. Maybe it's good that you leave this place. I've lived in a place like this before. I've seen what it can do to people. She grew up in the walled city, Cad. And she knows what we've got to look forward to if you sink this raft, because we sure as hell can't afford to live anywhere else. He cranes his neck to look up at Gobbet, pleading. Desperation burns in his eyes. Gobbet, listen. It isn't too late for the sinking ship. We can still turn this thing around. My mutiny failed because the Rat King knew things that we didn't. Yours can succeed if you'll try. She shakes her head obstinately. My gut says that we should sink the raft. It said that the moment that I arrived here. That's what Rat wants me to do, so that's what I'm gonna do. I don't want to sink this place because it means a lot to some people, and the last thing we want is more people holed up in the walled city. Gobbet, Cadmus might be right. If we could drum up enough support, I think that we could retake the sinking ship. Her eyes narrow. Have you forgotten the first lesson I taught you, Seattle? Always go with your gut. And my gut says... Spare us the lecture, Gobbet. Cadmus is right. You're going to go off half-cocked. Again. The truth is, we can save this raft if you want to. If you don't, tell us and we'll sink it. Look, Gobbet, things have changed since you decided to sink this raft. You can see that, right? She sets her jaw, draws a deep breath, and then slowly releases it. Alright, Cad. If you're sure that you can keep up your end, I'd be willing to help you with your mutiny. But if your people frack it up, I'm sinking this thing. Got it? Yeah, and thanks. With your help, we can do this. Well, that remains to be seen. He waves her off. Go on, get moving. And convince as many people as you can to help us when the time comes. Whoever you don't bring around to our side is going to fight against us, so be thorough about it. When you're ready for us to make our move, trigger the shipboard alarm system. 2 blasts. Then we'll start kicking in doors. Alright, Cad. 2 blasts starts the mutiny. If we sound the alarm once and leave it, you get your people the hell off of this raft. Got it? 1 blast means you're sinking the raft. You do that and I'm kicking your bony ass from here to Macaw, but... Yeah, I hear you. Another long, wet cough racks his body. You got all of that, stranger? You know what you're supposed to do? We convince people to join you, then trigger the alarm. 1 blast means we're sinking the raft. 2 means that the mutiny is on. Got it. Good. Thanks. And Gobbet, thank you. Does me good to know that you're with us on this. So we got to go and investigate, or not investigate, but we got to bring people to our side. Holy crap. And, oh, this leads back to that door that that lady was guarding. The woman standing guard duty nods in acknowledgement. Strangers, you picked a bad time to come visit. Yeah, it's a bad habit of mine. Are you guarding the room against the rats? Yes. She hefts her weapon, her eyes glued to the door. The rats, and the thing that's controlling them. I've never seen it myself, but I've heard stories. You want to talk to someone? Talk to the dwarf. I'm busy. She hefts her weapon, her eyes glued to the door. I need to keep my eyes open for more of those little bastards. Can't let any more of them sneak here, not after what happened to Simon. Best of luck. So, can we open the door? Let's save the game here real quick. It looks like we can, which is good. Before we do something rash. Knock, knock. And... fair enough. And this is less, if I recall. The guard turns to face you. You're back. Why? Now, the Rat King has ruled here for long enough. We're taking it down. We could use your help. Her eyes go wide. You'll get yourselves killed even talking like that. You'll get me killed with you. Get the hell out of here right now. I won't take part in another damned mutiny. Think. How does it help you for the Rat King to stay in control? She screeches and bull rushes you. I warned you not to talk. Uh-oh. That's awkward. Ow! Alrighty. The hard way. You asked for this. So let's run up and... let's run up with a normal strike. With Mana Fist. That's 10. And that's all I can do at the moment. Man, I feel bad about killing her, but... that's what we gotta do. Boop! I feel bad. Find Malvina, organize a mutiny, or scuttle the sinking ship. How about you? You want to join on a wonderful adventure? There's no one there. Ooh, let's try and... forgot about these guys. Let's talk to Ivan. You again. He lets out a low grunt. What do you need? Did the Rat King's people do that to you? No, I got caught in the crossfire. The mutineers did this to me. Thought I was with the Rat King. All I wanted to do was get home. Instead, my right eye only sees double now. I can hardly use my hands. The calmness of his voice belies the naked spite on his face. Thanks for asking. I know you're hurting, but there are other ways to help than fighting. Oh, I can fight. Don't you worry about that. He glances down at his bandaged hands. Might be best if I waited a week or two, but even in the state I'm in, I can hold my own. I used to be pretty damn good with a blade. Paid a pretty penny to have one custom forged for me, even. That blade was a lovely thing. Useful in and out of a fight. I liked that. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a tool as well. What happened to this blade of yours? Taken. Lost. I don't know. He pulls a balisong knife from his back pocket, extends his arm, offering it to you. How about you, stranger? You handy with a blade? No, I am not. Any idea where your blade went? No, and even if I did, do you think I'd tell a stranger where to find it? That blade was my most prized possession. If anyone's going to find it, it's going to be me. You know, we're taking this raft back from the Rat King. Can we count on you? He chuckles. You're all fools. The last 2 mutinies failed, and yours will too. Even if you did have a chance, it was Cadmus and his boys that did this to me. You think I'm going to cozy up with them? I'm sorry that they hurt you, but like you said, you got caught in the crossfire. People get hurt in those situations. It happens. Cadmus would never intentionally harm you. The Rat King, on the other hand. I said no. Not pulling my neck out for anybody. I'm going to ride this thing out, and that's all there is to it. Well, if you help us, I can make it worth your while. I have connections back in Kowloon. You hard of hearing? I said no, and that's final. I'm not laying my life on the line for you, or for Cadmus, or for anyone else. Etiquette Shadowrunner. Wake up. You're living in a war zone. Not choosing a side won't keep you safe. It'll get you killed. He stares at you with his good eye. You're right. You're right. I know that. I know it better than most, but just can't pick up and leave. Nobody can. The Rat King won't let us. Then we'll have to kill the fracking thing, won't we? He stares at her with his good eye. It's subtle, but something in his expression changes. Grows hard. You a killer girl? I do it for a living. We all do. Then maybe you've got a chance. He grits his teeth, gingerly touching the ruin of his collapsed eye socket. To hell with it. I'm in. When you make your move, I'll do what I can to help. Well, you made the right decision. Go to Cadmus and wait for our signal. I will. Well, that's one. Huzzah. How about you? Gobbet, you're back. Hello, Yasmin. It's good to see you again. Yeah, you too. Where the hell have you been all these years? On a different boat, funny enough. Yaz, I'm a little out of the loop with what's happening here. Could you do me a solid and fill us in? Yeah, we're not supposed to talk about it, but I'll tell you what I know. Yeah, tell us what's been happening here. She looks uneasy. Well, we're all struggling to deal with the devil rat infestation. You probably know about them. With all the rats around, there aren't many volunteers for the maintenance crews anymore. It gets lonely out here. She abruptly stops talking, her cheeks flush red. That's it. That's all I have to say. Yaz, you're talking to me here, so tell me what's going on. I can't help you if you don't know what's happening. Yasmin's eyes dart up and down the hall, scanning for anyone who might be coming. Her hands begin to shake. After a moment, she leans toward Gobbet and lowers her voice to a whisper. Yeah, all right. She swallows. This raft is cursed. By the Rat King, you mean? Your brother told us all about it. Her voice comes out in a terrified whisper. Yes, it has spies everywhere. Rats, those little monsters and the kind on 2 legs. If you don't do what it says, things happen to you. And it talks over the intercom using Malvina's voice, but it isn't her. I know, Yaz. One way or another, I'm gonna kill it. The whisper changes, becomes fierce. Her eyes burn with intensity. Good. She claps a hand over her mouth, her eyes wide. Her entire body is shaking. Thanks, Yaz. That helps. Believe it or not, it helps. She nods mutely, still struggling to calm herself. We're taking the ship back, Yasmin. We need your help. Her eyes go wide. Another mutiny? No, not me. Go to someone else. I saw what happened last time. Last time you didn't have me here. We're going to kill the monster that stole Malvina's voice, Yaz. You've got my word on that. She stares at Gobbet, long and hard. Finally, she acquiesces with a nod. All right, Gobbet. I'm in. I'm terrified, but I'm in. Her voice breaks, but she continues on. I'm not a fighter. I keep the ship afloat, but whatever I can do, I'll help. You'll be okay, Yasmin, I promise. Circle up with your brother. I'm sending everyone we convince to help to meet up with him in the sick room. He'll tell you what to do from there. That's 2. Now, is there anything more that we can access here in this terminal? Nope. Just the meeting stuff. Now let's talk to Sparrow, who we saved from bleeding to death. Thanks again for your help. I'd have bled out if you hadn't come along. We're going to take another run at the Rat King, and we're going to kill it this time. We could use your help. I want to help, I do, but I can't do much without supplies. She licks her lips, considering. I'll make you a deal. If you hook up with some medical supplies, I'll join your mutiny. Well, I got this regeneration salve. Let's go ahead and hand her off that. She gratefully accepts the supplies that you offer her. A deal's a deal, and I have a debt to repay. When you make your move on the Rat King, I'll be there to help. Good. Head to the quarantine area and meet up with Cadmus. He'll let you know what to do. I have a few things to take care of here first, but I will. You've got my word on that. Well, we've had to kill 1, but we've recruited 3. Let's talk to Mercurio here. You're back. He smiles down at Iso, saluting with his glass. Tell me why. Sinking ship, Rat King, help us? He shakes his head sadly. No, I'm afraid not. I'm a lover, not a fighter. If you don't get off your scrawny ass and fight, I'll snap you in half like a twig. How does that sound? He stares at you and his smile vanishes. Fair. It sounds fair. Please don't hurt me. Well, that was satisfying. She stares the local down. When the fighting starts, you take our side. Got it? Yes, of course. You can count on me. Excellent. Little strong army never hurt anyone. So, can we talk to this guard? Glad to have you on our side, stranger. When the time for the mutiny comes, you can count me in. Ah. Okay, cool. So we don't have to worry so much about that. But what about you? Okay, we cannot take them out. Or ask that guy. Let's let Cadmus know the good news. You're back. Need something? When did all of this start? It must have been sometime after Gobbet left. No, not long. Maybe a week or so. We couldn't see it at the time, but it was happening. I'd stake my life on it. I don't get this. Everything was fine when I left the raft. I mean, the vibe here had changed, but Malvina was still Malvina. If anything, she was even stronger than the woman I'd known. Yeah, she got strong all right. Strong and mean. It started small. A couple of months after Sui's mutiny, Malvina started proposing new rules. She said that she was cracking down on infractions, keeping order to keep us safe, but over time, those rules started piling up, and gradually, the punishment started getting worse. Do you think that the shiny object corrupted her somehow? Nah, I think that it gave her power, and she corrupted herself. No judgment, though. I think that in her place, a lot of us would do the same. That's what I mean when I say she had it in her all along. I think that she'd always been afraid, but always used rules to protect herself. The trinket took that fear and focused it like a lens, and that opened the door to what she's become. He pauses and checks himself. She. I don't think that Malvina can even be described as a she anymore. It is really a they. Our friend is dead, or changed so much that she might as well be, and the things that are wearing her skin don't belong in this world. There's a trapped room at the end of the hall. Do you know anything about that? Yeah, me and my crew built the thing. Let me guess, Malvina's orders? He nods. First thing she asked us to do after Sui's little rebellion. We started work on the thing the week after you left. Yasmin was in charge of the project. Can you tell us how to get past it? No. He coughs wetly into his sleeve. No, but Yaz can. Should be somewhere on this level. Go find her and tell her that I sent you. We will. Thanks, Cad. He dabs speckles of blood from his lips. Don't mention it. Okay, well, we can go and talk to Yasmin now. And she'll let us know how to deactivate. And I think that was everyone that we could recruit over here, isn't it? Yep, pretty much. Only had one person. Okay, Yaz. Cadmus said that you were in charge of the building the trap at the end of the hall? Yeah, that was me. I didn't want to build the thing, but I did it to help Malvina, to keep us safe. And I've regretted it ever since. We could really use your help, Yaz. We need to get below decks, and we need to do it in one piece. Can you help us get past the trap that you built? I think so. It's been a long time, but I think I remember what wires you need to snip to disarm the thing. She fumbles at a nearby table, grabs a napkin, and she produces a grease pencil from her breast pocket and begins to draw. There's a hidden access panel in the floor. You'd never find it if you didn't know where to look. You snip these wires here, and this one here, bypass this circuit. She scribbles on the napkin with a steady hand, and then flip this lever. Do that and you're done. The trapdoor won't trigger and you won't get dumped into the killing pit. Ew, killing pit. So snip wires, bypass the circuit, flip the lever. Killing pit? She passes the napkin to Gobbet. It's pretty much what you'd expect. She snatches the napkin from Yasmin's hand. Thanks, Yaz. You don't know how badly we needed this. I can guess. Cadmus sent you to me after all. She smiles weakly. Best of luck. So, we got our way around the trap. That's good. And it looks like we have almost the entire crew on our side. So, I wonder where this lever is. But I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and look for... Actually, let's check the maintenance notice, because I don't think we looked at that. All lower decks are off limits until further notice, maintenance. Fair enough. Well, we'll go ahead and end the episode here, and then next time we'll actually go down below and try and have our little reckoning with this Rat King, or Rat Queen, rather. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, go ahead and click like down below, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help, and we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.